Welcome back, everybody. You're looking live here. Of course, the stage is set. This is Washington Township, Michigan, where Donald J. Trump will speak to the big crowd there. 8,000 to 10,000 people expected indoors here in Michigan to hear former President Trump. There's also overflow outdoors. Of course, it's a bit colder if you're outside, but there will be jumbotrons. And the president is expected to arrive around 7 o'clock. Sometimes he's running a little bit late. But Michigan, obviously a very important state for him. In fact, the last time he was there was very late in the hours of Election Day 2020. We'll be talking about some of the candidates he endorsed. There is a very busy governor's race there as well. So a lot happening in Michigan, and we'll get to all of that tonight here on our special coverage. Hi, everybody. I'm Bianca De La Garza. Thanks for staying with us. We want to talk about some of the big issues facing Americans. And the big question is, are we facing a recession now thanks to Joe Biden? Bloomberg is reporting that people have withdrawn $2.6 trillion from bond investments just to pay for the rising cost of living. Back with us, Dick Morris, the former advisor to Presidents Clinton and Trump, host of Dick Morris Democracy here on Newsmax, and also political analyst Mark Halperin. Gentlemen, great to have you back with me tonight. Thank you.
Good evening, Bianca.
So, Dick, first, you break down sort of what this means here when we look at these numbers that Bloomberg's reporting and the withdrawing of trillions of Americans' investments here just to meet the bills.
It means everything. It's such a huge statement. You know, we look at public opinion polls or we look at economic indices, but this is unbelievable. When you buy a bond in the U.S. government, you're basically voicing confidence in the government, confidence in the currency, and you're giving them your money. And you're saying you'll pay this back in a month, in a year, in 10 years, and whatever. Now, there is not only a net outflow of people not lending money, but $2.6 trillion that they have already invested in bonds has been pulled out in the last year, withdrawn. That's 11% of the total portfolio of these bond issues. It's the largest in history. The largest previous one was about a point lower back in 1970, I think. And this is amazing. It basically says that people have no confidence in the American economy and no confidence in the American dollar. And you know, inflation is going on now because of short-term immediate effects like people not working or people having too much money from government spending and spending it and driving up prices. But this is so much more fundamental because it goes to a total lack of confidence in the fundamental element of our economy, the U.S. dollar. Yes. And the risk of inflation from this could be enormous. It could dwarf everything we're looking at now.
And obviously, when it comes to an election, and it is about, you know, people vote based on the economy. That is a huge issue for people here at home, Mark, as you know. And, you know, a lot of people I speak to, they look at President Biden and they look at the administration, what they're doing, printing more money, and they kind of question and say, do they even know what they're doing? And they're really baffled, Mark, about some of the policies, and they don't have confidence.
Yeah, you know, Bianca, I think you're on to what I think relates to what Dick said. Dick talked about a lack of confidence in the American economy. There's an extraordinary lack of confidence in two aspects of President Biden in his relation as supposedly the steward of this economy. One is a lack of confidence that he has a theory of the case about how the American economy grows. You see that in public opinion polling. You certainly see it if you talk to CEOs in almost any sector. And then the other issue is not just his own sort of theory of the case, but the policies. What is he pursuing this year that he can get through Congress or do by executive order that actually will deal with these issues? And that sort of negative cycle of perceptions about the actual economy, about what might happen in the future, that's horrible for the American people, but politically for the Democrats, it's very perilous in 2022, and if it stays on this course in 2024.
Yeah, and it's really getting to the point where people are hurting in so many ways. It's a disaster for the Democrats, for sure. Dick, just want to preview what's coming up on your show tonight. What can you share with us?
Well, I'm having China expert Gordon Chang on as my guest, and we're going to explore what we believe, he and I, is the most potent weapon in the American arsenal vis-a-vis China. Not a nuclear bomb, not conventional, but the ability to control liquefied natural gas exports to China. You know how Europe has been able to Russia has been able to wrap Europe around its little finger by holding back gas exports. Well, we could do the same thing with China. We are providing China with 22% of its natural gas, and it's going up. But we're not using the leverage.
Well,
we're just letting it go.
It will
the Russians
be,
make their whole career out of this leverage, and we're just letting it happen.
Well, we love Gordon Chang as well, so it'll be a great discussion between both of you. So Dick Morris, Mark Halperin, thank you so much. We know you're sticking around with us this evening for our extended coverage. Thank you.
Hey, I'm Rob Finnerty. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please join the conversation in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe, too. Hit the bell icon to be alerted to breaking news. And remember, there's a whole lot more on Newsmax TV, America's fastest growing cable news network. Newsmax TV, we're real news for real people.